It talks about Alexander the Greek and then how he died. After 12 years, he conquered the known world, he died. Then his 4 generals put the crowns on, and they were going to war with each other to be the top guy. So then the scriptures tell you that evils was multiplied in the earth. This was after the death of Alexander, because Alexander was cool with us. He was like a friend to us. He was a terror to the other nations, but he was like a friend to us.
Yeah, because the Lord had given them dreams.
Yep, the Lord had sent them a dream.
Yep.
So, and really out of Seleucus, I think it was Seleucus IV, Antiochus Epiphanes was the one, that the abomination of desolation. He took away the daily sacrifice. He made Israelites have to call themselves Antiochians.
Right.
And they had to sacrifice pork on the altar.
Herod came out of there, right?
The Herodian dynasty came out of they came out of the Hasmoneans. They intermarried into the Hasmonean dynasty. It was a Hasmonean woman that married, I think it was, I believe it was Antipater. And that's where Herod, he came through that line right there.
Antipater the third, right?
So basically, with the Israelites, the daily sacrifice was taken away under Antiochus Epiphanes. Antiochus Epiphanes took away the daily sacrifice, and then Israelites had to what? Start worshiping and following Greek gods, Greek ideologies, eating that abominable Greek food and all that. But under Alexander, we didn't have to do that. And he gave us equal privileges with them. See? So, and what he's reading in 12:2 is probably going to go over. What he's reading in 12:2 is, remember in times past, when ye were Gentiles carried away to these dumb idols. And as you will, read it again.
It says, ye know that ye were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led.
Even as ye were led. That's when that really came in, like really hard body, during the time of Antiochus Epiphanes. Antiochus Epiphanes on up. So then, now let's get James 1:1. All these scriptures now, they hit different now, because you don't know nothing about the history. You think just because you just read Acts, the 10th chapter, Acts the 16th chapter, that you know the whole book. Yeah. You coming in reading half of the story and you talking about you know the whole book. That's why the Lord said, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. Go ahead.
James 1:1. James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Yahushai, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting.
To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. Because we didn't stay, every Israelite didn't just live in Jerusalem. We lived abroad. We lived way abroad. As far as you can go, that's where an Israelite would live. Just like now in America. Most black people roots go back to the South, right? But guess what? Not every black person in America's roots go back to the South, because a lot of you, when them slave ships came, you had slave ships that came directly to the North and dropped Negroes off in the North.
Yeah.
Not every slave ship went down to Virginia, went down to North Carolina, went down there by Atlanta, went down into Florida. No, there were ships that came directly right here to the Northeast, right to New York.
Yeah.
That came right to New York. So not every black person's roots go down south. But our roots do come from back east, from Jerusalem, whether it's from Spain or Portugal or West Africa. But before that, it was Jerusalem. Now let's yeah, go. 1 Peter's 1:1.
Yep. 1 Peter's 1:1. Peter, an apostle of Yahushai, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, elect according to the foreknowledge of the Most High, of Yahweh the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit unto obedience, and sprinkling of the blood of Yahushai, grace unto you and peace be multiplied.
Right. So that's what it says in the book of Peter. It's talking about to the Israelites that were scattered in all of those different Greek city-states. It wasn't just Macedonia that Israelites wasn't just in Macedonia. Israelites was all throughout Asia Minor, Middle Asia, and Far Eastern Asia. Israel was all throughout the whole known world at that time. Israelites were scattered throughout the whole known world at that time. And even right now to this day. So he read Peter's, we're gonna end it here at Peter's. I'm gonna read Peter's again, but I'm gonna read it in the GNT, the Good News Translation. 1 Peter's 1:1. Peter, an apostle of Yahushai, to Yahweh's elect exiles scattered throughout the provinces of Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, who have been chosen according to the foreknowledge of the power through the sanctifying work of the Spirit to be obedient to Yahushua and sprinkled with his blood.
Yep. Yeah, that's the mystery, man.
That's the mystery.
That the Israelites were scattered abroad through every nation on the planet.
That's right. That's the mystery.
Can I read one quick?
Go right ahead.
It's Isaiah 11 and 10. This is the prophecy. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. And that's talking about Yahushua, you know? It says, to it shall the Israelite foreigners seek, and his rest shall be glorious. So that's why Yahushua had to go and die, you know, on the cross. And then in John 7:35, it says, whither will he go that we shall not find him? Shall he go to the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles?
Right.
So it's talking about Gentiles in two different contexts. You have the natural Gentiles, which are the other nations, and you have the spiritual Gentiles, which are Israelites that were into other philosophies and religions and worshiped idols and kept the customs of those nations where they were scattered amongst.
Well, if like Paul, right? Paul, a lot of the things he said, right, is because he was bringing Israelites into the church that was coming from them Hellenistic customs.
That's right.
They used to wear hats on their head when they prayed.
Right.
That was from the Greek. Right. The long hair, that was a Greek custom.
Right.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Even, was that Troy and Gladiator, right?
Right.
They had long hair.
Yep.
So a lot of those things he spoke about because it was Jake's Israelites, Gentiles coming in, but they had them Greek customs.
Right.
And he had to tell them, like, you got to get rid of that Hellenistic shit.
Right.
Yeah, you got to cut that, yeah.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what was going on. Mm-hmm. He wasn't there trying to, he wasn't giving white people the word of Yahushua. He was getting those Israelites that were living in all those different regions that were following those customs. That's who he was recovering them.
Yep. There's two more verses.
Go right ahead.
It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
Right, which are the Israelites, the remnant of his people.
Yep, the elect, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea.
That's right.
And he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.
Right, because those Israelites that lived in all those different regions, they were looked at as outcasts by the ones that were born in the soil, that were born in Judea and that were in Galilee and that were in Nazareth. Those Israelites that lived abroad, they were looked at as outcasts because they wasn't born on the soil.
That's Ephesians, the 2nd chapter.
Yep.
Yep.
And again, that applies still to this very day. Yep. Those of you that are Mexicans, those of you that are born in America, if you go back to Mexico to visit, you're a Mexican American. You're not considered a real Mexican because you weren't born on the soil. You weren't born in La Raza soil. Haitians do the same thing with each other. You wasn't born in Haiti. You might have been born in England. You might have been born in America. You might have been born in Canada. But your roots go back to Haiti. The actual Haitians born on the soil, they're gonna kind of make fun of you. They're gonna look at you as an outcast. Even though you're one of their people, they're gonna treat you like an outcast. Jamaicans, hell yeah.
Yeah, foreign.
Nah, you're foreign. You're not from Yard. Even though your people are Jamaican, your grandmother, grandfather are Jamaicans, right, but they moved to Canada or they moved to the U.S. or they moved to England, but you going back to visit. You wasn't born in the Yard.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they look at you as like an outcast because you wasn't born on the soil. The same thing was happening back there.
Yep. So it says, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
The dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. That means the kingdom of Judah, not just the tribe of Judah. The kingdom of Judah is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. That's the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So that's our time. So with that, we're going to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. And we're going to say Shalom and hope you learned something from this.
Shalom.
And stay away from them damn bonehead Christians with that all-inclusive doctrine. Shalom.
Shalom.